This is your man's Nick Rattlehead, and we are back for another year-end episode of Aftershock Reviews, your place for great reviews. You recognize this man now.
I'm back.
You recognize him, but just for the new guys, for the new fresh blood, this is my best friend for 9 years?
Going on 10 this
Going
year.
on to
the whole decade.
Oh man, golly.
That's a long time.
You see this? You see this is what brotherhood looks like right here.
I'm so
This is what brotherhood look.
I'm so touched. Can I have a hug, man? I love you, man. You're my best friend of the decade,
This is my guy.
Best friend of the decade.
This is my guy right here. This is Jibby Jones, a.k.a.
Give it to him.
Jason B. Russell. Because where would we be without
the B? I mean, come
Where
on.
would we be?
Come on.
Where would we be? This is Jibby Jones, your host from one of the best gaming channels online right now.
I'm a game boy.
Dumb Links.
You know what I'm saying? You know,
let them know, bro.
Tell them, you know.
Let them know.
Hey, Wagwan, Aftershock. Wagwan, Aftershock
Oh.
community. It's your boy, Jibby Jones, J Burritos, Jason B. Russell. Don't forget the B. You already know me. I'm honored to be here with you for a second time to join my man Nick Rattlehead here at the studio for my second video. Talking about one of my favorite topics that comes around at the end of the year. What did you listen to? And how much did you like it? What order is it in?
You know what that is? Want me to go ahead and define that for you?
Let's talk about it.
That's called a list.
Ooh!
We are here
I love me a
for
list.
the year-end list. So, Jason, I don't want to leave everybody in suspense.
Okay.
I don't want to leave everybody on a cliffhanger.
Okay.
I don't want everybody to get annoyed at me thinking in the back of their head, Nick, just get on with it.
It's like, get
What
to
is
it.
your list? I don't want to have everybody just sitting here thinking, maybe I should skip and go to a different time code so then I can actually get to when they're actually talking about something that makes sense.
Listen to every single word that comes out of his mouth and watch every second.
I'm telling you, because you missed something. You missed something.
All
Watch
right.
this here. Okay, so let's talk about the list.
I'm so giddy. I don't
Because it's real, man.
I'm excited. Okay.
It's real, man.
Yeah.
So, Jason, let's hop into Jibby and Nick's ultra super cool top 10 year-end list. This is where Matt puts in something cool. And speaking of Matt the Graph,
My boy.
how I love thee. I miss you, dog.
Miss you, dog.
Still, Aftershock for life, my mans. Don DeMarco.
Hope you're having a wonderful end of the year.
Yes. So let's get into it, though. Jason,
Yo.
can you hit me with your honorable mentions before we get into our year-end list? What are your honorable mentions?
Yes,
man?
I can.
Let's go.
I want to start off by saying that, and Nick always makes fun of me because he feels like I do this every year.
Because you do.
Because I do.
Because you do.
This year was the hardest year to put together a list, and I'm going to get into why at the end here. He's mocking me. And I'm going to have some questionable choices throughout this entire experience. But I want you to, I want you, Aftershock community, and I want you, Nick, to He said, all right, I'm going to head out. I need you to stick with me for what I'm getting ready to say. All right, so my honorable mentions. Let's start. I got 5. One, Magdalene by FKA Twigs. I love FKA Twigs. I love that album. I have not had enough time to really get into it.
Okay, there
it came out like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And I've listened to it 3 or 4 times and I'm really getting into it, but it's just not, it hasn't congealed enough to make it into the top 10 proper.
Makes sense.
It's a really good album. You talk to me in 6 months, whatever I'm getting ready to say right now might not even mean anything. We'll see. Okay, so that's my first honorable mention. Magdalene by FKA Twigs. The second one, Thank You Next by Ariana Grande. I wanted that album very badly to hit my top 10, but there were 10 other albums that I just couldn't move. I just couldn't do it. Nick is giving me a face because we've had plenty of debates, as you'll see when we talk about most of these albums. We've had plenty of debates about some of these albums that we'll be talking about today, and we're on complete opposite sides of the spectrum on them. This is one of them. Next, shout outs to my boy Brad. May the Lord watch by Little Brother. I enjoy that album a lot. Loved it so much. It felt like a return to form of Little Brother, but like it like even though you knew Ninth was missing, it still had it had a good foreign exchange vibe to it. I think Fonte was in his bag. Hearing Big Pooh come back and do his thing was really nice. But it's just something about it it couldn't knock out the other 10 albums on the list. Still really good though. This next one is an EP, Someplace Else by More. He's a Canadian artist that I put Nick on to him like literally right after we got done shooting the Jesus is King review. And I've listened to it a lot. I really love that EP. It's just so short and there's like not enough in comparison to the other 10 albums that actually made the list, but I love it to death. If he comes out with this full-length album and it's on that same level, definitely gonna be top 10 that year. And last one, this one kind of hurt. Lost Boy by YBN Cordae.
Oh, wow.
I love...
Wow, that's not...
I love...
I'm really interested in this list now.
I love that album.
Wow. Give y'all complete and total context. When that album came out, it was a whole nother Black Messiah type of thing where it's like, Nick, you need to listen to this album.
Because it was such a surprise.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know about him before the Double XL list came out, and I don't really pay attention to that kind of stuff anymore anyway, but I was just like, I have no idea who that is. But when I started, I think he was on the same cipher as Meg Thee Stallion, and I wanted to see her, but I was like, oh, wait a minute, this dude can rap. And then he came out with his single with Anderson .Paak, and I was like, I guess I gotta check that out. And it was one of those, it wasn't, D'Angelo, Black Messiah for context, when that album came out, I had to I begged Nick every day for 2-3 weeks. I was like, bro, you have to listen to it.
Hounded me.
But we knew that the next album that D'Angelo was gonna come out with was gonna be good. This was one of those albums I love a good surprise where I'm just like, I have no idea that this was gonna be worth anything. I don't know anything about this guy, but no, this is a pretty good listen. Okay. But it was just like I said, my list is just so solid that there was no room. There was no room.
No room.
Made me upset. But that's my honorable mentions.
Run that. Then my
your honorable mentions.
My honorable mentions. That's right. No, that's cool. That's what you have friends for.
I got you, man.
That's what we got friends for.
Bounce it back.
All right. First honorable mention, Bloodlust Contamination by Creeping Death.
Okay.
A great slab of old school death metal with a little bit of thrash thrown in as well. Thought it was great. Been following them from a while, especially with their Spectre of War EP that came out last year.
Okay.
Couple of tracks. Very infectious, very fun, very filthy. Loved them. Saw them live when they came to town for, I can't remember who the actual headliner was, because I literally went to the show it was for Home Wrecker. It was the Home Wrecker show at the 529. I don't even remember Home Wrecker's set because I loved Creeping Death's set so much. It was amazing. Creeping Death, Bloodlust Contamination, Chasing Summer by Sir. Bro, I wanted so badly to make some type of room on my list.
You were crazy about
for this album.
Yeah.
Trying hard as I might, could not make room. Because the whole album's a vibe.
Yeah.
The whole album is a vibe.
Yeah.
Dude, if ever I want to feel flyer than what I really am, if I ever want to feel like I got more swag than what I really got,
where you going?
Bro, straight to this album. I'ma get in that car in my Hyundai Elantra.
Well,
I'm telling you what, roll the windows down.
Okay.
Wink at the honey in the Lexus, knowing she's out of my league. While I'm playing this album full blast on 400, headed to Lenox Mall, not about to buy a doggone thing.
Wink at the honey. Oh my God.
It's not a game.
Oh.
Chasing Summer by Sir.
Yes.
The next one, Lucid by Ravina. I love that album.
Honorable mention?
Honorable mention.
Honorable mention?
Let me tell you something.
What?
Let me tell you something. This year started off slow at a snail's pace.
Yeah.
And then it just blew up in my face. And this was one of those albums where I'm like, listen, that's a very interesting cover. Let me listen to bro, what Nectar? Oh my God. She's got that. Dude, let me tell you something. This album, if we're talking about a vibe, a good, decompressing, slow, ethereal
nice chill
vibe.
Yeah.
This is it. Lucid by Ravina. The next one, Ventura by Anderson .Paak. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
An honorable.
It's an
mention.
honorable. Let me tell you something.
Man.
Let me tell you something. This album freaking smokes. Freaking smokes. For anybody who doesn't know, I was never the
Take 'em
biggest
back.
Anderson .Paak fan at all. When Jason tried to get me to listen to Malibu, he let me borrow his CD to listen to that. That's how much he wanted me to like the album. I came back to him the following week to record an episode for a long forgotten podcast. I don't even remember the name of it.
It was
Anymore. Was it Walking Record Player?
It was
Walking Record
jogging Walkman.
It's
Something
one,
like yeah.
it was one of those things.
Yeah.
But anyway, I bring the CD back to Jason, and I was like, "Yo, I don't like it." And he looked
He
at
might
me.
as well have broke my heart. I promise you. I mean, he was just like, "It's boring.
'Cause it was.
I just don't get it."
Because
I just.
and there was so many
And
other.
y'all know how I felt about Malibu. Those that know us from that
Yes.
old podcast, we can't remember. I love me some Anderson .Paak, and I love me some Malibu.
Oh, he used to try to get me to get on board with that album
Bruh.
so many times. I was just like, nope, doesn't click.
I said, not working, bro.
And
This ain't it.
then when what was the one
Oxnard.
Oxnard came out last year, I was
Yep.
like, I told you he wasn't as good as you made him out to be. I told you he was slaw, and ain't nobody listen to me. And then Anderson .Paak, as if he heard me, as if he heard the words that were coming out of my mouth, he said, "You know what? I'm gonna shut this nigga up for sure now."
Yep.
And he came out with Ventura. Let me tell you something. Reaching Too Much has got to be one of the best tracks I've heard this year.
It's so good.
By far and
so
away.
good.
By Alabama mile.
Bruh.
It is so good. Like flashes of brilliance that come, not even flashes, the whole track is brilliant. But you get like
that first minute and a half, that groove
That
that it gets in, and then when it just fades out and it just comes that
almost
beat just
that-
comes in.
It's almost foreign exchange like.
Yes.
Very foreign
You just
exchange
like,
like.
bruh.
And then you have Layla Hathaway doing backing vocals
Yes.
throughout the track, but then she has her own little ad-libbing scat-like
Yeah.
solo near the end, which only lasts like 20 seconds. I'm like, don't do that to me.
We're gonna get back to that album, of course, when we get to it.
And then the last honorable mention, Little Ghost by Moonchild. Now he's laughing for a reason. He's laughing for.
Yes! I made it! Okay, I'm sorry. Please. Nick, why am I laughing?
Because I call. No, okay. It's not the fact that it wasn't good. It's the fact that the rest of these 10 albums that we're about to talk about were so good
I understand.
that it didn't have, like, if I could have a 10.5, that would be 10.5, and then the next album would be 10. It's like that. It's like 10B and 10A. It's just that the number 10 album was just so much. Oh, it was so putrid and great that I didn't have room for freaking Moonchild. So I called Jason the day the album came out. And I was just like, Jason, did you listen to the new Moonchild? And he's like, That's exactly how he did me. He might as well have just been like, it's okay.
I love that last album.
And,
And the album before that. Thought it was great.
I have never been so flabbergasted / brokenhearted talking to Jason about an album. And this is not a hot take.
No.
This is not a hot take. I'm not saying this just for dramatic effect. I'm saying this because it's true. I've never been that flabbergasted / brokenhearted about an album talking to Jason ever, because he was just so indifferent and I was so passionate. I'm sitting in the middle of a Barnes & Noble's parking lot with a whole bunch of white folk looking at me like I'm insane, about to break out in tears, sitting on the hood of my Hyundai because Jason don't care about the album. That's why he's laughing at me.
I wanted to. I thought I was gonna show up on your top 10, and I was gonna look at you crazy when you brought it up. But I guess it's 10.5
For full
It's close
context, it got edged out today. It got edged out today. Today, I had already thought that I had the whole list planned out. Listened to all the albums in succession,
Yep.
and then listened to one honorable mention that was going to be an honorable mention. I was like, dang it. no, and I had to do it. I then listen to Moonchild again, then listen to that album. And I was just like, ugh, and I had to bump Moonchild out.
Right.
Oh, it's strong. Do that album. That album's strong.
That was one of my disappointments this year because I went back and I listened to it multiple times because I was just like, you know, it happens sometimes when you listen to an album and maybe you just weren't in the right mood, you weren't in the right place, and then somebody that you trust comes over and says, hey man, look, this is that sauce. And you're just like, of course, it's got to be that sauce. Maybe I missed out on it. And I listened to it again another 2 or 3 times. And I'm just like, no, I'm not tripping. This ain't doing it.
It happens, you know.
Sometimes it just happens that way.
It happens. But those are our honorable mentions.
Indeed.
Now, it is time for the main event.